Cloudy with showers likely on Sunday. We'll reach a high of 74 and a low of 62. And mostly cloudy with rain expected on Monday.
Oh, don't worry. I got a comfy spot. I'm not going anywhere.
And a low of 61. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
That's a look at the
I'm going to put a spot in front of the open. Okay. Why is, no, close that. Why is audio showing now? It wasn't.
The audio will not show when you're in the top of the hour news.
I wasn't. I waited on that. I knew that.
It's working now.
Well, it literally wasn't.
Is your mom doing any better?
Hey,
Thank you for asking. I don't know if I can answer without being emotional.
you're going to start hearing some Joe Biden commercials here in a couple minutes. I'm going to slide them into your where they go.
So it's just
I just got
gonna be-
$1,500 in advertising for Joe Biden from Kamala Harris.
It's just going to be somebody.
Well, no, they say it talks about like, have you done this? And you know all the infrastructure projects. Well, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were working while Donald Trump was holding.
My template has also been changed again, so I'm using the basic template.
I'm just happy you guys got $1,500. That's a win.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Well, then so they take 1,000 off. So out of that 1,500. They take 10% or 30, 10%, and then the other one takes 10%, or 15, I'm sorry.
Matthew, everybody's getting a cut.
Oh, yeah.
So at the end, I only get 70% of that, and they get 30.
Yep.
Everybody's getting their little something.
Politicians make me laugh. They got a $100 million war chest, but they text me for a $5 donation.
My daughter.
You need my $5?
Yeah, it's like, why do you need my $12?
Yeah, right.
My ex-wife. You don't want to talk about politics, do you? I don't know.
You know what?
You were very correct.
Mine's the humor aspect.
Yeah. All right. I'm putting you on camera now. It occurred to me that Matthew got it exactly right. This hour, Matthew Modany, my guest, and we talk about good things. And good to see you again. This is live on Facebook too. You got it exactly right. You know why?
I don't know why,
say something, Matthew.
I'll take it. I was waiting for the exposition.
They think I'm, oh God, he's seeing people again. You got it right. Here's why. You come in here last hour on a Friday, once a month, all of the hubris, all of the ridiculousness, all of the screaming and wailing and gnashing of teeth, you come in and you talk about good stuff, positive things, and it's the perfect way to go into a weekend. So,
absolutely.
Product placement or topic placement, you absolutely nailed it. Now I will ask you to do this. You're a realtor and you do this show. Explain to people who you are and what you do if this is the first time they've heard.
Yeah, I appreciate the intro. For anyone coming back, thanks for coming back and listening again.
And be sure to be upbeat.
Absolutely.
All right.
And for any new listeners, my name's Matthew Modany. I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker, the Michael and Nicole Reed team, and I've been a Beaver County native my whole life. So, basically I help people buy, sell, build homes. Any questions you have on the real estate world, I'm here to help. And I've been doing this for about 8 years. You can find me on Google, on my Zillow agent profile. And
Zillow what?
Zillow agent profile. You can search.
Oh, Zillow agent for homes. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can search up agents on Zillow, just like you search up homes.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on my Google business page as well. And I do have a website, movewithmodany.com. You can search up listings, get a free instant evaluation on your home's value. And of course, there's a lot more there to go through, and can connect with me whenever you wish.
Is it about to pick up or about to go down? Because is the interest rate going to change?
It is. Since the last time we were together last month.
That's why I asked. Yeah. I remember talking about it last time. What does that mean to a dummy like me?
What it means is you're going to start seeing more listing inventory going into next year. And a lot of these sellers, that have been on the sidelines, maybe waiting for another move. Some buyers who are going to be coming into their homes. It's no secret that people have been waiting for the rates to come down. And that just started happening here very recently.
People buying or people selling, or is everybody in the same boat?
Everybody's in the same boat. Obviously, it's no-brainer. Buyers are happy when rates are low. That does pick up the competition a little bit, which is another item all in itself to navigate, but it does affect the sellers as well. There's a lot of sellers out there that are looking for their next move, and part of the reason we've had low listing inventory is they've waited for these rates to come down to properly incentivize them to make that move.
You mentioned, you just said about the number of sellers.
Yeah.
What does this do to the number of houses? Are both sides buying and selling, putting houses on? And how does that affect, and I asked you about this last time, you have businesses, private equity firms or mortgage, whatever, buying up single family houses. What will this do for them? Will they jump back deeper into the market?
I don't think you're going to see, we don't see as much of that around here.
Why
to
not?
begin with.
And that's a great thing, but
Yeah.
why not?
That might be a little bit above my pay grade.
Okay.
There's an old saying, our area sometimes is a little late to the party. And it's interesting because Pittsburgh's routinely voted one of the top markets to buy and sell real estate. It's a great real estate market, but lucky for us, we don't see as much competition these days from the big scary corporations. You don't have, BlackRock and Vanguard coming in and beating out 75% of the buyers who are looking for a home. It's still very much a people-centered market.
When that happens, when the Vanguard and BlackRock, when they come in, are they buying it to become landlords, or are they buying it to become flippers?
Definitely landlords. That's what you see in a lot of other markets too, is, they buy up these homes and they want cities to be cities of renters. So, again, don't see as much of that here, at least not yet, and I hope it stays that way. But yeah, they're not typically, those big corporations aren't buying homes to turn around and flip them and sell them. They're buying them, they're holding them, renting them out. It's an asset to them, just like anybody else. But they look at it different. They've got bigger pockets than most of the buyers and sellers around Beaver County and Western PA. So the rates affect them, but not the same way that it benefits the average Joe that might be listening to us tonight. So
Matthew Modany is my guest. MoveWithModany.com is the website to get in touch with him. You're talking about renting versus owning. How often do you get asked that question, or how often does that come up when you meet with a client? They've been a lifelong renter. What makes them flip that switch?
Oh,
besides a decent credit score.
Of course.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, the question comes up all the time. I've seen it, different age brackets, different areas. There's always that debate over renting versus buying. And I'm very transparent with people when I talk with them and work with them. It's different for everybody. There are numerous benefits to buying and owning a home. Tax benefits.
Do you own or do you rent?
Right now I own.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a question that never seems to go away. But interesting little statistic for our area. One of my good friends who is in the mortgage business was just sharing this with me the other day. We're actually in the top 3 for areas nationally where it's more affordable to own versus rent. And, there's a lot of statistics to go into it, but it boils down to our average rent around here is about $1,400 a month, and the average mortgage is sitting just under $1,100, I want to say. So you're looking about $300 a month typically that it's cheaper on your mortgage versus your rent.
So if I'm paying the average rent, I can afford and have $300 left over to pay the average mortgage payment?
Yep.
Do the banks see that the same way?
Yeah,
that's an easy argument. Hey, I can afford that house. Why? Because I'm over affording the house now.
Yeah, and not that I'm a banking expert,
Right.
but it's no-brainer, right? Banks, they lend money. So they're always going to incentivize you to go buy a home, whether you're a first-timer, buying an investment property, whatever it is.
Special get in the house, not projects, but specials and programs.
Yep. There's a number of different loan programs out there. There really is something to fit every buyer. There's different benefits, different loan programs out there. That's a lot to go over, but the banks want to incentivize you to buy a home. So they make money when they lend money.
Will that actually or also go up if this mortgage or if the rate drops down?
Oh no, I mean, banks' incentives to loan money is never going to change.
They do what they do. What's
Yeah.
the number? Okay.
Yeah, right. Well, right now we've seen a lot of movement over the last, say, 2-3 weeks, give or take. From talking to some of my lender friends, seeing a lot of FHA, VA loans, just shy under 6%. Conventional numbers have been hovering in the low sixes, and it's something that you're going to continue to see movement on through the end of this year into early next year. So rates should continue to improve, and all that's going to do is, help buyers buy homes, make homes more affordable, and there'll be more movement in the market.
Why are we not, as a region, promoting the fact that Western PA is in the top 3? It costs more to rent than it does to buy. Highly rated nationally for real estate. Why aren't we screaming that from the mountaintops?
I think most people in the real estate industry
Are
do.
they?
Yeah,
Good.
and that's, a big part of our job, whether you're an agent, a lender, whatever your role might be. Education's a big part of it. So we try to get the word out there, social media, in person, whatever, the medium might be. But real estate people try to get the news out and educate the consumer as much as we can.
I'm going to ask you something because I know you got a better answer than I can come up with. What causes the interest rate? And you see the meetings and the Fed guy comes out and says, here's what we're doing. What motivates them to change interest rates?
That one's a little above
Is
a little bit above my pay grade. I'm one of those people, I hate to give false information, and it's not something.
Oh, not me.
Not something I'm quite versed enough on, but I think anyone who flips on the news once in a while, keeps up with, how things are going in the country casually, it's no secret there's, been some concerns about inflation and the economy, and typically it's big macro factors like that that's going to cause the Fed to come in and change rates. But
Well, is there a danger if they're looking at the macro side of it that it won't be beneficial to the micro side? Or is the assumption it trickles down, like that's always the assumption?
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I hate to make assumptions, but I
But-
think, yeah, spot on.
All right. I want to buy a house. How long should it take from beginning to end? Assuming I find a house, what's the process then? Pre-approval?
Yeah, well, actually, pre-approval is one of the first things you do. So
Okay.
typically, in not exactly this order, but you're either going to meet a lender first or an agent first, and those two work together to help you buy your home. So let's pretend you walked in, you met me somewhere, I start helping you as a buyer's agent. One of the first things that I'm going to do is connect you with a good, local, reputable lender, and they're going to go over all the financials with you, get your pre-approval set up, because frankly, you need that to really be sure about what your budget is, are you ready to buy, and have all the estimate numbers and everything handy. So it takes away as much of the unknown as possible when it comes to buying a home.
These are questions that you're going to get asked, so you might as well get the answers you can before you get asked.
Absolutely, yeah. The more homework we do up front, the better. When I meet with a seller or a buyer, I always do a sit-down consultation, or if they prefer, obviously we have Zoom and different technology avenues that we can go. But on the buying side specifically, very important to get the financials figured out. And another part of that too is if you're a first-time buyer, if you're not sure, the lender and the agent are there to help you with your questions, and maybe you need a little bit of financial work before you're ready to buy a home. Coaching
That's
helps
so
available.
polite. You need a little financial work.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit of coaching, but that's all part of what we do is, we're there to help whether you're ready tomorrow or 6 months from now. We put you on the right track for success. But to go back and answer your question, if everything falls into place and you magically find your home, typically the buying process takes about 35 to 55 days in most cases.
Matthew Modany is my guest, and I always ask you real estate questions, but I forget. You come in here and you want to talk about everything else besides real estate. I thought about you when the Pirates said, "Hey, you're 4 at-bats from getting the check," and
Oh.
they sent him. I thought I'm going to get your reaction to that, but I want to congratulate you. Tell people what you won. This is bad to the bone. How do you not come in and say, "Hey, I'm Matthew Modany. I'm best of the Valley"? Tell people about that.
Yeah, you know what? I obviously had that and a little bit of pirate notes on the list for later, but
Yeah.
very excited and honored since we saw each other last. Found out that I won Best of the Valley this year for real estate agents, and being a lifelong Beaver County guy, doing a lot of business here, you know, having a lot of friends that own businesses here, it really meant a lot. It's a big honor. So it's all, you know, voted through Beaver County Times, and
Do you get a crown or a robe or
yeah,
a
there's.
scepter?
I got
Anything?
a really sharp looking plaque in my home office, probably about yay big. So
Okay.
I'm pretty proud of that. And like I said, I work all over Western PA, but Beaver County's home, so that one meant a lot to me. And over the years, I've had a lot of friends that have won those awards for their businesses. So I'm happy to be able to join the club, and I'm happy that the consumers out there seem to think I'm doing a good job.
I'm interviewing. No, I'm not. It's Matthew's show. He's the best of the Valley. What am I going to contribute? Move with Modany.com. More with the best in the Valley after news on Beaver County Radio. Hang on a second. Jose, let me get you up screen.
I knew that you would say something about the Pirates, and it is. I have it on the
Well,
list.
I know I saw it, and that's setting up for the next half hour. I did. It's like,
American and save hundreds on thousands of items.
well, they're cheap. They're not
man,
cheap.
this-
He is a businessman.
You know how I know this is a little different, though, than their usual cheapness? This is getting attention all, like, nationally through MLB. I've been seeing clips and,
So a lot of my take
yeah.
national.
I mean, there was somebody, I want to say, up in Toronto that covers the Blue Jays up there. They were talking about it. I mean, it has made national news in the MLB like a new low for the Pirates.
Well,
it's-
here's where it's going to affect the Pirates. Screw the 200 grand. In the world we're talking about, that's literally
For the
pocket
Pirates,
money.
it's nothing. It's
Right.
pennies on the floor.
Okay, but here's the problem: if you're a free agent, you're looking go,
Bingo.
yeah, I ain't going down there.
Bingo.
The
Yep.
only people that come to the Pirates or that will end up doing math in my head. The only people that go to the Pirates are kids that are hoping to play their way onto a better team,
Yep.
or last stop before it's over.
Yep. Last chance saloon.
Yeah, and
Yep. And it's a shame because, you know, for the first time, at least in my lifetime, you've got a real top of the MLB talent. You know, Paul Skeens. You've got this incredible young pitching rotation. Any other organization?
well, except for who was it that kept puking? Bednar.
Oh, Bednar, yeah. I don't know what they're going to do with him. He's
I-
not on my list this month, but
When you're the closer, and then one day closer by committee,
yeah,
you call your agent and say, "Hey, man,
yeah.
keep an ear out."
But it's sad. Any other city with the rotation we have and having a top 3, top 5 pitcher in the league who's in his second year, they'd be scrambling to add bats and to compete. And it's just business as usual here.
You don't have to. You sell Dippin' Dots.
Yeah, right.
You get enough money
Yep,
before the season ever starts.
yep.
And I'm not defending it because it pisses me off too. I'm not playing the Pirates promo after this.
Yeah, right.
The people that refuse to accept his perspective, like, you're not going to change his mind. He's not a bazillionaire because he's a sentimental dude.
Yeah, he
Okay?
runs that team. Someone put it really well the other day. He runs that team like a business, not like a team. And frankly, that's why he's not as hated in the ownership circles as he is by the fans and the media, because the owners look at the guy like, hey, you know, you run this organization, you make money, You never have to worry about competing, but it's the fans and the media who get left holding the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
And
it was up
that's-
to the owners, it's
Well,
like,
if I
good job.
gotta spend more money and the owners love it, well, that's one less team I gotta worry about.
right.
You don't get into the ego pissing contest, but most professional sports ownership groups,
Yep.
that's a hobby, that's a toy, that's an ego.
Oh, yeah.
You look at, you see, I follow European soccer.
Oh, yeah.
All the Saudi oil money and the Russian gas money.
You can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah. The cycling world tour, there is a team, UAE,
yeah,
that's a state-funded team. The
Yep.
Israel Premier Tech is a state-funded team. Astana is a Kazakhstan-funded team.
every once in a while, I hear a story about one of these owners that reminds me just how much money these people have. Arthur Blank, when we were playing the Atlanta Falcons, he donated $200 million to open up a children's pediatric hospital, which is incredible.
Yeah.
But could you imagine having $200 million to build a hospital on top of?
Just to go, oh, hey, Matt, you need a couple?
Yeah, and I mean, that stuff takes time. It takes years, but that just shows you, like you said, these guys are working with billions.
Money, it's not money.
No.
It's ego. Well, Formula One.
Yeah.
Okay. Each car, there are 10 teams. They each have 2 cars. Each car is about 20 million just to get it to sit. Not tires, not running it, not
Yep.
paying anybody. You know, Formula One teams have. I think Mercedes has 2,000 people on their race team.
Yeah.
That is all ego. Formula One started, rich European aristocrats wanted something to do, so they started racing their
Sports cars.
cars that were just starting to get built.
Yep.
And
Well, Brad Pitt's doing a big F1 movie. I heard it's coming out next year.
is he?
Yeah, it's
F1 is, I love it, but this year's good. Last year, Verstappen just kicked the shit out of everybody.
I
You knew-
remember. Yeah.
and there's no pat. Once he took off, it's like, hey, dude, you ain't gonna get him.
Yeah.
But the drama in that,
A Beaver County woman
it's hysterical.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, in NASCAR, they just punch each other. The F1's totally different, but when you see that little carbon fiber mirror sticking off the side, well, that's $4,000.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Money is nothing. There's a reason most of those dudes have homes in Monaco.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
one of the old saying, you want to get rid of your family, your house, and your job, go racing,
Go
because
race.
you'll run out of money. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'm coming back. We're going to talk Pirates.
Yeah,
See, I
let's-
forget that. I think, all right, I've got to do a grown-up talk and talk business. No, the hell I don't.
Not right
Oh,
now.
no. We'll get the Pirates. I'm going to come back. So, did you tell me that the fall is one of your favorite seasons?
It is. I
That's
love
why.
fall.
Why did they?
I have a couple little
I
fall.
saw
Yeah.
I saw a fall event.
Yeah, I mean, between hockey coming back, NFL, baseball playoffs, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons fall is one of my favorite times,
Right.
and that might give me a nice little plug too for my friend's pest treatment company
Dude, plug
Yeah.
anybody you want.
for my local spotlight. So that'll all kind of fit together nice.
Yeah, plug.
We'll talk
On
soon.
it, it's when I told you I was not bullshitting. It's your show.
Oh, I know.
The
Yeah.
more you talk,
Yep.
less they gotta live. They've already listened to my dumb shit for 2 hours, man. I've been talking about scooters,
Republican vice presidential nominee and Senator
and that allowed me to talk about bicycles.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll geek out with that, because those dudes, as far as just hard men that suffer,
Oh, you mean like the Tour de France, like the professional?
those are
riders?
I followed that shit since I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's the kind of riding I do. Well, it's not, but that's the kind of bike I ride.
Yeah.
There is no sport that has tougher, more resilient people.
Oh, I've heard.
They're also insane,
Yeah.
but
You got to be a little crazy to do what they do.
ride 130 miles up and down mountains, and then at the end sprint 45 miles an hour
Yeah, I just
on a bike that has to weigh 14 pounds. Some of them they put weight in to make them weigh that.
can't wrap my mind around it.
The sprinters, the guys that's their thing, you see them without their shirt on, their back, they all look like burn victims.
Oh, yeah.
They've got scars all over their, it's like, damn.
Yeah, wrecks
Yeah.
the body.
Well, it peels you.
Yeah.
And that I've done.
Oh.
No, and it peels you, and the lycra sort of melts. If you slide long enough, it melts in.
Oh,
No, very bad. Very bad.
not my scene.
No, I haven't. I'm just coming back.
Sure.
I haven't had a full.
That's a look at the news for now. Everyone has well on
I-
99.3 FM.
I haven't had a full-blown hurt wreck. Last year, I had one, and went home peeled and $140 pair of shorts.
Yep.
Bad evil sport. All right, I'm coming back to you. We're going to make sure. It is teleforum, but it's better than teleforum because one Friday a month, Matthew comes in, Matthew Modany, and you come in and we talk about real estate a little bit. And congratulations on the award. You're one of the best in the valley. But we also get talking about other stuff. Do I remember right? Is this your favorite time of the year? I think we were talking about, I like autumn. I think you did too.
Absolutely. I
Okay.
love fall.
All right, and that brings up the events, and you come in here, and this is going on, that's going on. Absolutely engage with the community. And one of the things you did want to mention, the Moon Township, my former hometown.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
they found me off-putting and ran me across the river.
Well, they're stuck with me now.
All right. Well, I got a feeling they have less problems with you. But talk about the Moon Halloween Spooktacular and everything going on with circles. You got a whole list of stuff. That didn't surprise me because I remembered what you said about autumn.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to start out with a little plug for the Moon Township Halloween Spooktacular for a couple different reasons.
Okay.
So, first off, it's going to be held at RMU, which is my alma mater. Very proud of that.
Is it insulting to call that Bobby Moe, or
No.
that's acceptable?
Nope, that's
Okay.
that's still the nomenclature. So,
All right.
I haven't been gone from there that long, and we still called it that.
They're not trying to cancel the Bobby Moe.
No, let's
Good.
go Bobby Moe.
All right.
But yeah, so on October 23rd, 4:30 to 7 at the RMU, they call it the Events Center now, but
Mhm.
the basketball arena, they're going to do a really nice Halloween event. Obviously, it's geared towards the kids, so bring the family out. They do a trunk or treat 4:30 to 7, and then the RMU basketball madness starts towards the end of that around 6:30. It's like a game tip-off follow-up for them. So it's going to be a really nice night, and pretty excited about it too because Coldwell Banker Realty and the Michael and Nicole Reed team, my real estate team, we are the presenting sponsors. So really excited about it. We stay really involved with the Moon community, and it's a great event. Definitely come check it out, and looking forward to seeing everybody there. I'll be handing out some goodies and rooting on the Colonials.
All right. On the subject of goodies, you give out good candy, right? You're
Oh,
not one of
honestly.
you're not one of those black licorice people, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No dental floss or anything like
Oh yeah. Here's the toothbrush move.
that. Yeah, no toothpaste, minis. No, we take our trick-or-treating seriously. My team's done the event for a few years, and we always make sure to make a good time and give out some good stuff.
Did you ever get? I got toothbrushes as a kid for trick or treat. I never got dental floss. Did you ever get dental floss?
I feel like I did, and that was a
It-
lifetime ago. But yeah, I've seen the mini toothpaste and the
Yeah.
dental floss and the healthy alternatives. But that's the one night a year that we don't do that.
No. You got the rest of your life to floss.
Yeah, eat your body weight in Reese's peanut butter cups. That's what Halloween's
Is
for.
that your jam?
One of my favorites.
Reese's?
Yep, love the Reese's.
I like the Clark bar.
Oh yeah.
Now, were you with the, what was it called? Charleston Chew?
Never got into that.
Okay, because that will rip your teeth out. You
Yeah.
won't need the toothbrush.
Never got into that.
During the news, you and I were talking, and I knew when I saw the story, because you're people don't know, you're not a sports fan. You are a fanatical. You are.
I do. I keep up.
You live black and gold. I saw the Rowdy story. I was like, oh yeah, Matthew's going to be mad at that. You're happy Penguins. Is that your favorite?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hence-
Hockey's my number one.
Why?
Just always has been. Probably started with my dad. He was taking me to games when I was 8, 10 years old back at the Igloo. So
Mhm.
it's just always been a part of my life. Something him and I've always enjoyed. So I give him the credit for getting me started at a young age. And I love the Steelers. I love baseball and golf. But yeah, hockey's always been my number one.
If you could only watch one, it'd be hockey.
Oh yeah.
Okay. What's going to happen this year? Because see, what's starting to happen, you've got Penguins fans trying to sort out what it's like to not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's not something Penguins fans have had to sort out in a long time.
Yeah, you got to have the right mindset. I do think a lot of our fans are realistic. They
Do
realize, I to a degree. I mean, I'm guilty, but we have seen the best hockey in the world over the last 30 years.
Do you think people know that though?
I
Because
hope they do.
think before, this town has had a lot of reasons just to assume that this is how it goes, not taking into account, okay, the before time you had, as far as I'm concerned, best ever, Mario Lemieux.
Mm-hmm.
You had Yager, who's still playing at age 8,000,
Yep, just scored a goal last week. Yep,
playing for Gladno or someone.
no, it's his final season.
He's said that before, but
I
see,
know.
there was a generation that saw that, and if that's all you ever saw, you assume, well, that's the way it always is.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have a younger generation, okay, Geno Malkin, Sidney Crosby. I remember talking to Detroit Red Wings fans at one of the Stanley Cups up at the Joe Louis, one of those games, and we were talking about most fans don't realize how good they got it sometimes. And Penguins fans have had it good for, 30 years.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a big share of them out there that I don't think appreciate it, but the majority of them do. Like you said, going from the era we had with Lemieux and Yager, a few years later moving into the Malkin Crosby era. I mean, you've got 3 of the best players of the sport of all time
Period.
that have
Yes.
come through your team in the last 2 decades. So, I mean, that really puts it into perspective. But, yeah, fall, man, when hockey's getting ready to start up, got the NFL underway, baseball playoffs, I love it. But if I had to do one, yeah, the Penguins and the NHL, that's my jam.
So $8.7 million a year.
Yep.
What kind of world do we live in, Matthew, where somebody takes 8.7 and everybody goes, oh, what a team guy.
Yeah, I know, right. Poor Sidney Crosby.
Poor
He's
Sidney.
only getting 8.7. But all joking aside, obviously a huge fan of his, and I'll make the argument still he might be the best captain in professional sports, at least North America. I know, we get into soccer and there's some different things, but what he does for the team, his compete level, it's just, it's unmatched in my opinion. But yeah, he, on the open market, he could have went to Colorado or wherever and they'd give him 10, 12 million.
They
But
give him the house.
they'd give him the house. Yeah, exactly. But no, that's, he does it to help the team compete, and that's just who he is, man. But it is pretty amazing. He signed another 2 years, another 8.7, and anybody that follows him knows he's incredibly superstitious. So I have a little bit of that myself. I gotta
Hockey
respect
players,
it.
man. You know who's
Oh, yeah.
superstitious? Hockey goalies.
Yes.
They're, and I say this as a former goalie. Goalies are out of their mind
Mm-hmm.
in the best possible way. Now, what makes a good captain?
I mean, honestly, I think you just, watch what Sidney Crosby's done over the
That's
last
it.
17 years. I mean, his compete level, team first, never been one of those guys to get caught up in contracts and stats and this and that. Man, I think he's the prototype. I think he's the top of the Mount Rushmore when it comes to sports captains.
When it comes to being the teammates of him, he is the perfect captain, and I've seen it, and you've seen it too. It gets demonstrated. When he walks into a room and doesn't say anything, and people still shut up and listen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're not going to fake that. And you're
No.
talking about a very difficult, when you're in a professional sports locker room, there's a lot of ego in that room.
Yep.
And for somebody to command a room like he does without yelling, and you still got to be willing to yell once in a while. Hockey teams, their captain and alternate captain, to me, are far more important than when you see it in baseball and football.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. They play a much bigger role in hockey. And again, we've had some of the best here coming through. Mario Lemieux, Sidney Crosby.
I was told stories. Lemieux would look up, and the room would shut up.
Yep.
The room, in just a glance, and it's like you can't teach that. That's guys know that's your leader.
Yep, you don't have to say much, and when they do say something, they listen. That's for sure.
I got told some amazing stories about that guy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the world thinks the world of him. He is a bigger leader than most people will ever know. And how many, if you weren't already a leadership quality guy coming into the league as a young Sidney Crosby,
Yep.
you spend a year or two living in Lemieux's house. You don't think Lemieux schooled him up a little bit?
Learning from, like you said,
Yeah.
maybe the best to ever do it.
Here's the bars you don't go to, young man. You know that talk took place.
Oh yeah, I still
Stay out of the car with Yager.
Speaking of him, he's another one of my favorites.
Yags?
Oh yeah, I love Yags, but I still get a kick out of the parallel between Lemieux and Yager and what you see with Crosby and Malkin. And Gino's one of my favorites, but he's following Reid and Yag's footsteps, right? So he had a great career here. He loves Pittsburgh and his captain, but he's going to finish his professional career back home just
Sure, why
like
not?
Yags did.
Why not?
Yep. So we might be looking at the last season with Gino, obviously with him with the Pens, but it sounds like after he's done here, he's going to go finish up back home, just like Yarmir did.
And buy a team and play until he's 1,000.
Yep.
So somebody just told me a workout story about Yager. Do you know what his big workout was that nobody else did?
What was that?
He'd put 10-pound weights on each skate
Oh my.
at the end of the session.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, 10-pound weights on each skate, and then go to it. Well, while we're talking about it, Matthew Modany is my guest, and we're talking sports. Go ahead and convince me that the Steelers are actually going to make the playoffs, because it's lined up now. You got Cincinnati's won once. I don't think Cleveland's won at all. Steelers are undefeated.
Yeah, the stars are aligning for them, and a little bit of luck never hurt anybody. But the AFC, I think, or the AFC North, the division's weaker than a lot of us expected it to be this year. And I don't know, man. The first half of the season, it's a light schedule. I think they can make up some serious ground. And
Do you trust the offense? Because the first 3 games, defense 10 points or less in every stretch. Hey, at that point, I can play quarterback and hand the ball off. You get a couple touchdowns, it's over. Or you got a kicker that kicks 6 good ones.
Yeah, I think they have time to get it right, because the caliber of opponent's not going to get harder until later in the season. But one of my best friends is a football guru, a Steelers guru, fanatic, and we argue about this. He doesn't put as much weight on how the offense is performed, and I'd like to hold him a little bit more accountable.
What do you mean? He says it's not as bad now. They got a couple touchdowns last week, I think. But
well, even before that,
Yeah.
he was saying it wasn't as bad as everyone was making it out to be. And I get what he's saying. They're playing smart football, but in this league, to beat the good teams, you got to put up 2 touchdowns. Like you can't have one offensive score a game. So
You can't depend on your kicker to go 6 for 6, including 2 from beyond 50.
hey, I mean, you can when he's Chris Boswell. But
Well,
we don't
you-
want to make him do that every time.
Well, let's talk about the seasons. Do you want to depend? It is a game to get Steelers home field advantage. It is late December, maybe the Christmas Day game.
Yep.
Snowing to beat the band. Again, as a former kicker, that's not a situation that you're going to be pumped up. You can call him the Wizard of Oz all you want. That doesn't change the 30-mile-an-hour wind coming off the river.
I do think that the offense is going to continue to improve. I'm the first one to hold them accountable, but I like the progress I'm seeing. I really want to see what you get with Wilson. The people that say that he's out and it's Fields' job for the rest of the year.
He's not out.
No.
There's too much money. If you and I are competing for the same job and you're number 1 and I'm number 2 and they give you 2 or 3 times the amount of money, you're going to get more opportunities.
Fields very well might be the future of the franchise quarterback, but they're going to see what they have with Wilson when he gets healthy, and I'm excited about it because I don't know, gut feeling. I like what I'm seeing. They got possibly the best defense in the league, definitely top 5, good special teams so far, and that offense is coming together.
Every win, even if it is a low-scoring output, makes that locker room look up and go, hey, don't mess with stuff if it's working.
Yep, if it's not broke, don't fix it, and we all know how far confidence can go in sports, right? So that team is feeling itself right now, and I think they have another winnable matchup this Sunday. That locker room's only going to get more and more confident if they keep this rolling.
Is there anything you wanted? There was a sponsor you wanted to talk about. I want to make sure that the local spotlight gets taken care of because this is your show, and it is so much better prepared than any show I ever do, Matthew.
Oh man, I didn't even pay you to butter me up like that.
No,
Thank you.
I'm looking. It's like, oh my God, this guy writes notes and he types them.
Well, yeah, you know me, like I mentioned earlier with the Best of the Valley reference.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends with businesses around Beaver County and greater Pittsburgh, and I always like to give some shout outs. And this time of year with the weather changing and everything, I want to give a shout out to my friends over at Valiant Pest Defense. Really great local pest company, preventative treatments, whatever you need. But it's that time of year where you get your house treated and keep the bugs outside, not inside.
I got cats. I'm all right.
Yeah, you're fine.
That's better than cable. Oh, look, a lanternfly got in.
Oh, man.
Matthew, you are indeed the best of the valley, Matthew Modany. MoveWithModany.com. Is there anything that I didn't get to or you didn't get to that you want to get to?
No, you know what?
I want to argue more about hockey, but I'm not going to do it.
I know. We're going to have to add more time in the future for more hockey talk, but the only thing I'll say is you might not ever see the Pirates sign another legitimate free agent again after last week. So for any of the baseball fans out there, the
Hope you
DFA,
enjoyed it.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the run and enjoy Paul Skeens while you can, because it's going to be like pulling teeth to get someone to sign here now.
So what you're saying is you expect the Pirates to go back to the Derek Bell, Armando Rios days.
I think we should really enjoy that pitching lineup for the next 2 or 3 years. That's about all I want to get into.
Matthew, that is very optimistic. You think Skeens will still be here in 3 years?
I think that's his team control, isn't it? I want to say.
Right, which gives them the right to sell him to the highest bidder. Garrett Cole, we've seen that over McCutcheon the first time.
They know better. They know he pulls in the tickets. He sells ice cream and hot dogs and jerseys. So they'll keep him around because he's a phenom and a moneymaker. But when that team contract runs out, the Yankees or the Dodgers are going to give him $45 million a year.
There was an old Pirate, and the name escapes me, way back, 50s, 60s, when the Pirates were bad.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted a raise. The response was, we finished last with you. We can finish last without you. I look at Skeens, and I look at Skeens' girlfriend and think she's not going to want to hang out in Pittsburgh for 5 years.
From what I've heard, they actually both really love Pittsburgh, but
Okay.
I can imagine behind closed doors what they think of the organization, because we always hear the stories about the Pirates, organizational blunders and fumbles, but This one was different. I mean, I heard Toronto and LA and all these different MLB markets. I mean, it made national MLB news how they finished the season with these player contract issues, and it's just the reputation's not good right now.
That is the old days. The only people that you could get to come to the Pirates were people that didn't have anywhere else, like Richard Gere. They got nowhere else to go.
They got nowhere else to go.
It was kids getting their first shot and then getting the heck out of Dodge, or it was the Derek Bells and the Armando Rioses and the Terry Mulhollands that it's like one more trip around.
They think that they're going to capture lightning in a bottle again, like they did 13, 14, 15, where maybe you bring in another Russell Martin, AJ Burnett, and suddenly just the right veterans mixed with all your young players, and suddenly you've got a playoff team on your hands. But those years and those kind of players, it's so few and far between that you hit it. And now, again, which one of those guys is going to want to come sign here after this?
No, if I've got any option, if I've got more than one option, and one of the options demonstrated that you clip the guy 4 at bats before giving him what is weirdly not a huge amount of money for a Major League Baseball team, it's like why would I go there? You guys shortchanged the last guy that said, "Oh, I'll go there."
Yep. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do to try to turn it around, but I guess we'll find out. Wasn't the high point ending to the season that we were hoping?
No, and it was not in Pirates terms. If you're around 500 at the All-Star break, that's not a bad, to a young Pirates fan, that's an okay season. They don't remember the successful before time.
Yeah, I mean, 13, 14, 15, they had a playoff team, a heck of a playoff team, and basically blew it up, for lack of better terms.
We're going to work hard right after we trade this guy to the other coast.
Yeah.
So, Matthew, thank you.
Always a pleasure.
You're welcome. You're welcome to come in here at any point. Do this, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Monday through Friday. You don't got to wait one Friday a month.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure. I enjoy our talks leading into the weekend.
I enjoy our talks because it lightens the mood and the conversation makes me smile. Thank you for that, Matthew Modany.
And thanks to you, Eddie.
Huh? What'd I do?
No, just being you.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, nobody's ever thanked me for that.
Well, there's a first for everything.
There you go. And it's a thank you from the best in the valley.
I appreciate it.
That's badass. I'll take that any day. Thank you. You're welcome.